In fact, what you're really saying is time management is one of the most important things you need to think about.
Yeah. The problem I've fallen in love with is making sure people don't outlive their money. I want my calendar to fill up while I'm sleeping, and it does. I love it.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Customer Showcase, where today we are introducing ourselves to Melissa George, who's been a long time YouCanBookMe user, and I'm really delighted to have you on the show. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, why don't we start with you just telling us a little bit about what you do?
So I own a registered investment advisory firm. I've been in the financial services industry for 27 years, and I've owned my company for 18 of those years. So, traditional holistic financial planning, people that are preparing for retirement, investments, insurance, estate planning, tax planning, all those kinds of things. That's where I spend a lot of my time.
We have an expression inside YouCanBookMe, which is you need to fall in love with the problem, not the solution. So you can stay focused on offering value and solutions regardless, of how things change.
Yes.
What would you say is the problem you've fallen in love with?
The problem I've fallen in love with is making sure people don't outlive their money. I kind of fell into financial services. I think it was primarily because I loved math. And out of math, I loved investments and I never thought I was going to be selling insurance. And then as I kind of matured in the industry, then I started to see what the issue was. People are wanting to retire sooner, we're living longer, but more specifically, the fact that, Social Security doesn't really offer a lot of security. Demographically, there are more women. We tend to live longer. There are a lot of women like me that are not married and don't have children. And so we have a lot of concerns as we move into retirement is, the fact that a lot of us are going to end up alone. And we want to just make sure that the money doesn't run out before we run out.
So it sounds to me like you're part financial planner, part therapist, like you're talking to people about their life choices.
Absolutely. A therapy is a big part of what I do. And that's really what people want to do. They want to retire with confidence. And that's my tagline is retire with confidence. I want to have some confidence that I'm going to be okay. So yeah, that's the problem I'm falling in love with.
Is InvestHER the tagline to show who you're really focused on, or tell me about that?
The bulk of my clients are women, and a lot of those women are entrepreneurs. So HER is the acronym has a lot of dual meaning. One, I'm female founded. I'm a female. Most of my clients are women, but HER is also an acronym for helping entrepreneurs retire.
Oh, okay. Do you see any patterns? Do you see any common threads about the kind of women that you work with?
They're all motivated. For one, a lot of them are kind of tired of the corporate hamster wheel, if you will. Still the bulk of my clientele are from Black and Brown communities. And more specifically for Black women, we are at the bottom of the wealth gap. And that's just a passion project of mine is, wanting to help these women not be at the bottom. The other thing I think is a commonality is that a lot of people have to bootstrap their businesses, right? They'll spend their 401k or their retirement plan. And so now you have this business, but I don't have a retirement plan. If they can get to a point where their business is growing, now it's time to start replenishing the plan or at least build the business to a point where they can sell it at some point. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that.
What problem keeps you up at night at the moment? What is the stuff that is worrying you right now?
I know that I've been successful because, for one, I'm still here. What keeps me up now is scaling. How can I create something that I can sell? And so actually, it's been a little bit more than a year ago. I changed the name of my company twice. The last name of my company was Melissa L. George and Associates, but I changed it specifically because now I'm trying to scale it to a position where it can sell. I wanted people to see invest. Okay, so we do investing. They see fiduciary. If they don't know what that is, that's a very important word that they should probably look up, which means that we always do what's in the best interest of the client. And then solutions, we provide solutions around investing and money and those kinds of things. And so that's the thing that keeps me up. What are the things, the components, the pieces that I need to do right at this stage in my career so that it is saleable?
I like the way you started describing your business as a success, which again, I think is a real milestone. If you can say, I have a successful business. Now there are questions that I have about what I want to do with it, but you're not on this kind of the risk factor of, am I going to make it or not? You have made it, you have a successful business. And I think that's a really important point for people who are running their own businesses to give themselves permission to say, yes, I've been successful. Otherwise, you're on a treadmill forever. And then what is the point of that? So what tool, when you 18 years ago, when you started, did you either inherit from somebody, or somebody said, this is a great tool, you've got to use it? And then now, if you were passing on your wisdom to other people starting a business, what tool would you recommend?
Calendar software has been a game changer. And not just to be able to book an appointment, but the reminders and the Zoom links, obviously, that's a time management tool.
Mhm.
And of course, there are lots of other ones out there. I know a lot of people are using Calendly, but
Mm.
I love YouCanBookMe, as you well know. I love the way that I can customize it. I love that I have multiple calendars. I can create a calendar just for a very specific group of people. My appointment rate is so high
Mhm.
because the text messages and the email messages that people get, and then even after, I have a message that goes about an hour after my meetings, and they'll text back and say, oh my God, that was time well spent. I really enjoyed it. I think one of the challenges that we always have is, how do we stay in touch with the client? But something as simple as thanking somebody for the appointment, if I had to do that manually every single time I had an appointment, it's killing time.
But I think it's the bigger picture is the time management, that in fact, what you're really saying is time management is one of the most important things you need to think about.
Yeah, it really is. And I'll go as far as saying this. Last year, I participated in Goldman Sachs has a 1 million Black women cohort,
Mm.
which I was in their first cohort, which was amazing. And one of the things that they told us to do during this 12-week program that we were in was to automate a process. I was thinking about the processes that I already had that were very automated. And the calendar one it saves time. And I don't think people understand how much time it saves. And also that the convenience that a client has, that they can go on and they can book time on your calendar anytime. They can book a phone call, they can book a Zoom, they can book a face-to-face. It's doing a lot of things, but the main thing is it's sending me time. It's like people talk about, I want to be able to make money in my sleep. I want my calendar to fill up while I'm sleeping. And it
Mhm.
does.
Mhm.
I love it.
What would you say truly drives growth for you? Is it word of mouth? What is really, helping you grow and be successful?
What has really helped me in the last 2 or 3 years, building out my Yelp page,
Oh.
my Google page, even the Better Business Bureau, which I'm not even a member. So one of the things I decided to do was, at the height of my client satisfaction, that's when I asked them for a testimonial. That has organically moved me up on some of these pages. And every week I get a couple of people that found me off of the internet. The other thing that I do is, whenever I get a new person on my calendar, when I first meet with them, I always ask them, what did you put in the search bar? Right? Because I want to make
Mhm.
sure I have the right meta tags and those kinds of things. And I ask them, what were you looking for?
Do you go to financial planning conferences? Are you in favor of them? Would you recommend them as if you're a small business to
Yes,
look into conferences? Tell me about that.
I would say yes to all of that. I am strategic about which ones I do go to. Where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? What is it that I'm
Mhm.
looking for? My most expensive conference is not a financial planning conference per se, but it's a conference for companies that are minority certified, where I'm looking to get, larger contracts. That one's the most expensive one. The one that I think is very impactful to me, just as a unicorn in the industry, is the Association of African American Financial Advisors. That's more of just me trying to network with other people their businesses are very similar to mine. They're also unicorns in the industry. There's always webinars going on. There's always, every day there's something, I can plug in right from where I'm at. But there is something to be said about being in person.
So we're going to finish this last bit of the interview with a bit of a
Okay.
would you rather, which is kind of a quick fire. Would you rather throw out your phone or your laptop?
Yeah, I'd probably throw out my Mac
Mm,
because my Mac can't fit in my pocket.
very true.
Yeah,
Would you rather get a new client or double your sales to an existing client?
I think I probably want to double my sales to my existing client.
Mhm. Would you rather speak at a huge conference, one of your big ones, or get a new customer, a new client?
I'm going to say get a new client. Yeah, even though you're in front of more potential clients at the big one, but if I know I'm getting a new client, yeah, I would take the new client.
Would you rather work with a team of experts or passionate learners?
Passionate learners.
Would you rather be known for product quality or customer service?
Customer service. I don't want people to just say I came to her and I was able to get the product that I wanted. I want them to feel like they had an experience.
Thank you so much for being part of our Customer of the Week series. I've really enjoyed hearing you speak and
Absolutely.
talk, and what a motivating and inspiring expert you are in your own industry. And I hope many people follow you likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bridget. It has been my pleasure.